We'd better now. It's
All right,
quite cosy.
This is
nice.
We've only met once before, but I feel very comfortable.
Yeah,
I feel very comfortable.
Good. I don't like having to see this. I hate my voice on camera. Man loves so
International love.
I know.
good times.
I haven't even been drinking. You gotta worry about me.
Right.
Right up.
Okay. First one. What instrument do you play?
I play bass.
And I play drums.
Who are your influences?
Mike Watt and Cliff Burton. And yeah, Mike Watt, Cliff Burton.
I'd have to say Dave Grohl, as far as drums go.
Well, Christopher Selleck.
Anyone else?
No. Well, yeah, but no.
Oh yeah, Dave Grohl and Mitch Mitchell from the Hendrix Band. Definitely.
How is it playing with Andy?
Wonderful.
Be honest.
It's fun most of the time. Admittedly, I've not played with him for 5 years, so my memories are all pleasant ones.
For me, it seems like always a meeting of the minds. Like when I first met him, it was a random thing, and then last year was obviously with the Gano tour. So it's always been a pretty productive relationship, and obviously we've enjoyed playing together. So yeah, pretty positive.
You've had more time to practice that.
It's all on the fly.
Okay, major editing needs to be done here. Okay. How did you meet?
I met Andy in sound control music. I was in buying a microphone and he said, "Hey, you're from Lohonoch?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I'm from Lohonoch." And we got drinking, and then I sort of was round at his getting, having a few beers, and he said, do you want to play bass?" And I said, "Yes." I played bass already in bands by that point, and that's kind of, we just hit it off. We sort of spent a lot of Friday nights round at his playing music to each other and generally having good times, and then from that it went on to being bass in his band.
For me, it was at Heathrow Airport. He went to play a show in London, and apparently his band didn't turn up, and we just got chatting over a Minutemen DVD that just got released. And we ironically had in the shop, which we shouldn't have had in the shop, but I ordered because I thought maybe I'd meet somebody who would like it. And funnily enough, he turned up and bought it. And then about 3 or 4 months later on, MySpace, he got in touch with me, and that was how it sort of began. And then I used to come up here and practice with him for a few months. Didn't hear from him for about 3 years, and then did some stuff with him on his 12-inch release. And then the Gano tour last year, so pretty fragmented, but every time we get together we seem to make beautiful music together.
Okay, where do you get inspiration for your songs, if you write any?
I guess I don't write the songs. I suppose I just feed off the energy that Andy's songs have. I guess because I've got a very similar sort of like to sort of the Neil Young sort of Hendrix 70s feel that Andy really loves. I think it's just a matter of his vision, what he loves, and obviously the fact that we work well together as musicians. So as far as the songs go, they're his, but we tend to make it our own when you play with, obviously with different musicians, as I have with Andy. It has its own little bit of colour, I guess. I don't know, tonight will be another night, I guess. So it's a new colour because I've never played before. So yeah, we'll see. But that's where I get mine from, just his songwriting and the fact that he does wear his heart on his sleeve. So
yeah, I find that when I've been putting together bass lines for him, that there's always been one particular bass line that's made sense for the song, and there's not been too many times where I've had to have figure out what to play. It's always been fairly apparent that there's a right bass line for the songs that just fit quite well.
What has been your favourite performing experience and why?
I'll go first.
If you want, yep.
I've got a few. Is this with Andy or?
I think
with Andy. I guess for me, it would have to have been last year when we both did the Gano tour. It sort of was a bit of a life-changing thing for me, because at that point I was about to sort of give up playing music. So to actually be able to play with Andy on some pretty major stages, I'd have to go as far. Actually, it'd have to be the end of the Road Festival because the year before I'd actually gone there for the first time and fell in love with the festival, and to be on stage with him playing, you know, Blister in the Sun by the Femmes, I think there's not too many memories I'll ever forget than that, just because there was a few thousand people singing along, and I don't know, that whole tour was one big highlight, but that probably was the most for me, because actually seeing him on stage with me, devoid of what he does, but actually playing together, because he was playing bass at one of those shows, was pretty special. So yeah, I'd have to say the End of the Road Festival last year.
For me, probably several years ago, we did a gig up in Falkirk, and it was there's actually a few that are sort of similar stories, and it was while we were having our Spinal Tap drummer phase, and the guy that was meant to be playing drums with us at that point just didn't turn up. He had a wedding band to play with that night, and the guys, we sort of knew the guys in Falkirk who put on the gigs because they played in Glasgow a lot, we were good mates, and they tended to be quite hard, sort of hardcore stuff, and the two bands that were on either side of us were pretty bollocks hard, New York hardcore style, angry, shouty, microphones wrapped around cables, wrapped around arms, screamy stuff, and it was me and him with acoustic guitars and no drummer, and we thought we were going to get eaten alive by the crowd that were all standing there just like, aye. And I think we started a Black Sabbath song, and it worked out okay, or at least we did a Black Sabbath riff and then moved into something else, but
safety net.
we got people dancing by the end of it, and that always helps.
Awesome. If you could meet any musician, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Who I'd like to meet?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Dead? It'd have to be John Bonham, I think, because he's influenced a lot of my influences as far as drummers go. And I think just to actually be able to meet him and sit and talk to him about his style, and because I was alive but not old enough to understand how amazing he was, to be able to sit there and see the power that people always talked about with his drumming, and just actually just get a feel for what he was doing, because like people always say that you can't replicate the Bonham sound because he was just a one in a generation. So I'd have to say John Bonham, definitely.
I've managed to briefly speak to Mike Watt on a couple of gigs, but I would like to actually sort of sit down and have a proper chat with the man, because he is really unbelievably inspiring in terms of just going out there and uncompromisingly doing what he does, which is basically when he's not playing with sort of, he plays for the Stooges now, and that's his sort of major festival type stuff, but when he's not doing that, he's in a van touring around America, sleeping in people's floors just to play his songs, and he's been doing that for 30 odd years, and he's just sort of, he keeps doing it, and I kind of want to know what drives him.
Obviously love the music.
Well, yeah.
That's it. Is there any other stories or funny anecdotes you want to say?
Not really. No, I think.
Has anything embarrassing ever happened to you in tour with Andy?
Yes.
Good. Right.
Just about knocked myself unconscious in Sleazy's jumping up and down, and I hit the ceiling and went over my back at the end of the first song, and got up and sort of my head was spinning, but I managed to start the second song.
Professionalism.
Yeah, it hurt a lot though.
You sure you're not a drummer?
If it was the drummer, I wouldn't be jumping up and down. I would have sort of still to say. Well, yeah, I've seen drummers do that as well.
I can't think of anything. Managed to keep it at a very good level so far. We'll see what happens tonight.
I've just remembered the other one, which was King Tut's. The first time we played King Tut's, and Andy brought along. We'd seen we'd seen Jay Massich play fairly recently, so inspired by that, Andy brought along every amp he owned, which was quite a lot of Marshall ampage there. And King Tut's isn't the biggest, and I could barely hear the drummer from the other side of the stage because of this wall of sound. And the two bands that were on before us were kind of Travisy pop rock type stuff, of the kind that was popular in the Glasgow of the early 2000s. And so they were inoffensively nice and okay, and they had their devoted fans, and we came on and sort of cranked into I'm Scared, big wall of Marshall, and we watched as everyone just got up and left. And we didn't play King Tut's for a good few years after that. But when we did go back, we actually did quite a good gig. The return was better than the first one. We were a bit older, wiser, and had convinced Andy not to use as many amps. Admittedly, he'd sneaked an extra guitarist on, but that was